everyone. Thank you for joining our Friday weekly Lunch and Learn. Every Friday at noon, Sierra Club Iowa chapter goes live to give you an update on an environmental topic. And today we're going to hear from our chapter director, Pam Mackey-Taylor, about coal and the dirty truth and a new report that just came out. So I'm going to get right to it and share my screen and let Pam tell us about the latest updates. So take it away, Pam.
Thank you, Jess. Every year, Sierra Club publishes a report that they call Dirty Truth. Now, the report covers 75 utilities, and it reviews their plans to retire coal by 2030, to not build any new gas plants through 2035, to transition to clean energy through 2035. So we're looking at climate change issues here and how the utilities are generating their electricity. This report covers two investor-owned utilities in Iowa, Mid-American Energy and Interstate Power and Light. And we also know that as Alliant Energy. Now, the scoring methodology involves letter grades A through F. The utilities were evaluated on July 1st of 2025, and they earned points by committing to retire coal by 2030, building clean energy by 2035, and this year we looked at replacing existing coal and gas, but also looking at their ability to forecast load growth and supply that load growth with clean energy. Now, the utilities lose points if they plan to build new gas by 2035. It's scored on a range of 0 to 100. F is the lowest possible grade. And at the bottom of this screen, you'll see our methodology. An A was greater than 75 points, or 75%. B was from 50 to 75. A C was 35 to 50. A D was 17.5 points to 35, and an F below 17.5 points. So now let's look at Mid-American and see how it scored. So Mid-American this year scored an F. It was a drop from last year's score. Last year, Mid-American had a D, and it dropped 10 points. And then Mid-American is slated to add 1,664 megawatts of gas by 2035. And that is huge because that means that there will be a 13% increase in carbon emissions. Now let's look at a little bit more detail in terms of Mid-American. Mid-American is not on track at all to retire coal by 2030. They are somewhat on track by increasing renewable energy. Right now, they're at 52% by 2035. And as I mentioned, there is a planned gas plant by 2035. Now, let's look at Alliant. Alliant scored an F this year. Last year, they also had an F. So it's a failing grade. There are three areas. The coal, Alliant is 3% of the way to retiring coal by 2030. They're on track of 72% of having clean energy by 2035. But the big problem is that Alliant is planning 1,275 megawatts of gas by 2035 over the next 10 years. So Alliant Energy's score this year is an F, just like last year's. Now let's look into a few more details. Mid-American and IPL's low scores reveal that the utilities are resistant to fully transitioning to affordable clean energy, and they continue to rely on expensive, polluting fossil fuels. And right now, the renewable energy rates are lower to produce wind, solar, and battery storage than coal and gas. At the same time, Americans' protections for clean air and clean water are being rescinded, and electricity bills are increasing faster than inflation. According to Mid-Americans and IPL's latest energy plans, both utilities intend to build new gas power plants while continuing to operate their outdated, costly coal power plants. With a power grid increasingly dependent on fossil fuels, Iowans will face increasing energy prices and devastating health impacts. And the big thing about coal plants is that they have some air emissions, not only carbon dioxide, but burning coal releases heavy metals, particulate matter, mercury, sulfur dioxide, nitrogen dioxides, lead, and other things that have to be trapped or get released in the air. All the while, wind and solar and batteries do not release any toxic chemicals into the air. So let's go on and dig into this a little bit more. Mid-American and IPL are operating 6 coal plants in Iowa. Now, the wind turbines are not hard to miss. They're all over. But it's Iowa's dirty secret that these coal plants are still running. And to give you an idea of where the coal plants are, there are 2 in Woodbury County. George Neal North is in Sergeant Bluff. George Neal South is in Salix. The Ottumwa Generating Station is in Wapello County in Ottumwa, Iowa. The Louisa Generating Station is in Muscatine County in eastern Iowa. There are 2 units or 2 coal plants in Council Bluffs at the Walter Scott Jr. Energy Center. Those are called Units 3 and Units 4. And then for those of you who are watching this closely, there is the Prairie Creek Generating Station in Cedar Rapids in Lynn County. And that is expected to phase out of burning coal by December 31st of this year. Now, this report is available online, and on the next slide, we'll tell you where the report can be found. But the big thing is Iowans can demand better from their utilities. And it's time that these companies acted in our best interest, and that means phasing out the dangerous fossil fuels, which will save lives and lower bills. Renewable energy is the cheapest form of energy, and by continuing with coal and gas, the customers, the ratepayers, will pay more for their energy. As energy costs rise and extreme weather becomes more frequent, now is the time to phase out polluting, volatile, and expensive fossil fuels and invest in stable, reliable, affordable, clean energy. And when we get opportunities through public comment periods, we'll write to you and let you know that those opportunities are coming up. And in the meantime, we'll be monitoring our utilities and the filings before the Utilities Commission to stay on top of this. As I mentioned, the report is available online. And here is the website where you can find the Dirty Truth Report. There is a dashboard where you can dig into some of the details if you want to learn a little bit more, and you can read about what other utilities across this country are doing. So with that, I hope you have a good afternoon, and we'll see you next week for our next Lunch and Learn.
Thank you very much, Pam, and thanks everyone. We put the link in the chat so you can click on that and take a look, and we'll see you on Friday. Have a great day.